Say what? When I arrived for the first day of work at the Four Seasons with my first clients on February 20th, 2020, I was in shock. The Four Seasons was closed. What do you mean? I have clients every day here. What is happening? I need to work, I demanded. No, we are closed. Closed because of the sea, said the security guard. Note to my readers, I refuse to add that word into my sacred sunflower, so I will refer to it as the C, the letter C. But you know what I'm talking about. This can't be happening, I thought, but it was. It didn't seem like the universe wanted me to work after all. I had to have a serious conversation with the universe. Okay, universe, I see that getting a job is a lot harder than I thought, and if this is not my path, that's fine. But at least send me some money so I could pay rent and support myself. Thank you in advance very much. Ask and it will be given unto you. The universe delivered. I would never have received the financial benefits that supported me for the next year and a half if I hadn't secured the job at the Four Seasons. I listened to my intuition, persisted, went the extra mile, and took action. It was truly a blessing that I was so grateful for. One of my dreams before I moved to Hawaii was to be able to spend a year off from my normal work and just focus on my writing. As a single mother, I had to work multiple jobs to make ends meet. I wanted the freedom and luxury of time to be able to develop what I was truly passionate about without the stress of paying bills. My dream came true, and it provided me with almost 2 years off. During that time, I developed and published The Soulfire Awakening in March of 2020, and in November of 2020, I created a video portal called Living Light on my website, which consists of over 70 videos. During the whole time, I also wrote and published this book. I would have never had the time or peace of mind to do all that if I hadn't had income. Before the money abundance came, though, I had to resolve the inner conflict I was still having. I had 2 dilemmas now, actually. One, I needed to move out already from my new Taj Mahal because my landlord became filled with fear and paranoia over the sea and tried to pull me into it with her. And 2, I was still entertaining the idea of lack in my consciousness. Entanglements again. Moving on my own and getting my own source of income, as Spirit had suggested, was the path I was trying to find. I thought I was making progress, but I learned living alone also means not having a controlling landlord that lives in the same house as you. She was wonderful in the beginning. We really hit it off, but then she turned paranoid about the whole sea thing. She started accusing me and attacking me about things that weren't true. She turned off my internet, which was my only means of income. She built a second door to keep people out of her part of the home and told me I wouldn't see her for months. She basically lost her shit. I knew I had to move again to get away from her. She was another person trying to manipulate and control me and diminish my light. It was brutal for my sensitive soul. I was finally getting why Spirit told me to root completely solo. They have to keep reminding me of this truth since I seem to get caught in energetic entanglements of others wanting to be able to strangle my light. I'm like the prey they catch in their spider web. They are attracted to my light, want to feed off my light, and then I get entangled in their web of disguise, disillusion, and manipulation. It is not fun. I needed to get out and find a new home ASAP. In general, but especially during the sea shutdown, I learned that there aren't a lot of affordable places to live on the Big Island, in the specific area that I wanted to live. I was back in the struggle, and the money abundance hadn't come yet because I had an internal disconnect. Instead of being at peace with where I was at, I was fighting against it, therefore making the next step on my path impossible to create. I was back in the mind loops and the struggle, thinking I had no money and needed to find a new place to live, so how was that going to happen? I was still harboring the energy of lack and disconnect within my heart. It's difficult to just automatically feel abundant and free, especially if all you have ever known in your life is lack and struggle. This has been one of my biggest challenges. I had to redefine abundance for myself and look at abundance through a different lens. Abundance may look very different depending on the mental construct of the viewer. I had to disassemble my mental construct around abundance to better understand it. Abundance is more than money, I realized. Abundance is freedom. For me, it's living simply and enjoying the beauty of Hawaii. I had created my dream life and had an abundance of time, the time to cook homemade meals, the time to do yoga and meditate and go to the beach. Abundance is having love in its many forms. I had to resolve the inner conflict and come to a place of peace within and surrender to my choice of where I was. This is an aspect of the divine feminine energy. To be rich is not what you have in your bank account, but what you have in your heart. The balance of masculine and feminine energies. While you are looking to make a change, it's important, key actually, that you are at peace and ease while you are taking action. There can be no pushing against. That will produce a halt in the creation process. This is the masculine energy in an unbalanced state. Even in the crazy situation I was in, I had to find a way to still be in gratitude and peace. Spirit reminded me that it's not going to fall into my lap. I was secretly hoping it would. Although you know there are no secrets in heaven. I needed to be energetically reaching for it and take action so I could find my new home. It goes hand in hand. This is the masculine energy in a balanced state. Then from this place and space of peace and ease, I could make a change much easier. This was my work, finding the proper balance of feminine and masculine energies. In the meantime, even though I moved into my own space, Hawaiian Beloved and I decided to continue our relationship. The sea was underway and it was creating a lot of uncertainty. Neither of us wanted to be alone through whatever was coming down, so HB got his own space that was right down the road from mine. It was really great at first. We tried to make it work. I was trying to stay focused on my divine mission while keeping our relationship blossoming, which was already challenging. Adding the toxic energy of my new landlord and home space made it much more stressful. I never responded back to her in anger, though. I stayed centered and calm as I held the space for peace. One day, during the turmoil, my HB said he was surprised I was so calm with all of my landlord's attacks on me. I concurred. I was surprised myself. I attributed it to the soul fire awakening that I was practicing during this time. It really does work.